Good morning, everyone. It's an incredibly beautiful sunrise from here in the Singita Grumeti concession. That's the sun rising out in the east, so that'll be coming up over Zanzibar and now shining over the whole of the Serengeti, because we are in the western corridor of the Serengeti, so we get to look right across the Serengeti at this sun rising. It's an overcast day. There's some rain off to our north, but all around where we are looks nice and dry, which is magic for a day to get out into the bush and do some exploring. And because it's nice and cool, we might be lucky to find that animals are more active later into the day and possibly lying out more in the open rather than finding some cover and shade. So we'll head out there. We're going to go do some exploring and see what we can find and what we can share with everybody who's back home. Have a magic day and wish us luck as we go out on an adventure. So we made our way down into the plains. Coming through the woodlands, we saw quite a few giraffe, which was really nice, some zebra, impala. There was good birding as well. White-headed buffalo weavers, Rupel's long-tailed starling, some woodpeckers were moving around. And now that we're in the plains, there's a smallish herd of buffalo that are sort of settling down. And there was also a single giraffe somewhere off to the left here. Those are the nests of rufous-tailed weavers. Beautiful out here, scraggly looking up in that tree. And that giraffe was just there. This buffalo had been with that giraffe and now had moved off, and this giraffe keeps glancing to the left. We're going to keep moving around the plains. There's a youngster. Tiny little youngster there. And that explains why she's out in the open. So she keeps that youngster out here because she can see predators approaching, and then she can move well away from them before they get too close. Tiny little thing. We'll move around and see if we can get a different angle, and let's see if we can work out how old this little one is. Okay, so we've looped around to the other side of that plain. There's that female giraffe. If we keep scanning right, we found a little one right in the back there. And even further right of that, there was a topi as well. There it is in the right-hand side of the screen. So that little one is probably about a month or so. And we judge that looking at the size, still very small, and mum's behavior, keeping it way out in the open plains here where she can keep an eye over it and scan around. The little one's trying to sort of catch up to mum. So we've been fortunate to see some young elephant around, lots of young impala, baboon, vervet monkey, some youngsters. Those April rains are here. You can see how green it is in the background there. And we do often see a spike in the amount of youngsters around, which is awesome. So over the coming weeks and months, I'm sure we'll see this youngster around, and eventually it'll join with its mother the rest of the giraffe in the area. There we go, resting now, lying down. And if it puts its head flat on its back, You won't even see that baby in there, and it can rest and grow while mum surveys the area, keeps an eye over it. There she is there browsing. The tree she's feeding in is called a planícies egyptica, which is beautiful, beautiful trees that you get dotted all over the plains out here in the Serengeti. There you go, mum grabs a mouthful, scans around. There's another mouthful there. Potentially later today, those giraffe that I saw walking down earlier would land up crossing the plain and joining this female. And if we do come back past, we'll keep a lookout, or we'll certainly watch out for this over the coming days and see how this all unfolds. Just been going around the edge of the plains here. There's a little striped kingfisher. He came racing out of the grass to our right with a big grasshopper in his bill. He's just eaten it up on that log there. Look at that red shining through in the beak, and then that black stripe through the eye. Shaking a bit of the grasshopper off the beak. And gone. Definitely seems to be a morning for the giraffe, because in the next open plain we've come to, there are more coming out into the open. We saw that herd of buffalo this morning. We've seen a number of giraffe, and the numbers of these animals in the area have really increased thanks to the conservation work that's happening out here, particularly from the Grumeti farm. Incredible success story in conservation for Africa. And it's great to be a part of all of this and to share it with you. Look at that scene, the grass, bluey purple mountains, the giraffe. Particularly at this distance, do you notice how the white behind those giraffes' ears stand out? They would certainly be able to notice each other and see each other from long distances away. You can see that giraffe on the left staring at something, but it's also ruminating, chewing. It's regurgitated some of the leaves that had been feeding on earlier. It's chewing them finer and then will swallow them. And the giraffe's also having a look there. For anyone new to East Africa, is a topi, T-O-P-I. And they are incredible athletes. These are unbelievable runners. You can see the sort of black blaze down the front of the face, chocolate brown, and then those horns that sweep backwards. And these are obviously two males, I think, that are sizing each other up a little bit. I know it's a bit windy, but you can actually see that grass. There you go, someone else coming in here. Oh, lots of sizing up. That long grass blowing, and that grass in some places is taller than them. Which means if we were walking through there, we wouldn't be able to see very far. And that's why their heads are up, really alert. Keeping an eye out for any predators. They'll be smelling that wind if they pick up any sign of a cat in the area. Look at those ears, listening behind them, to the side, to the right. Coats are shiny and they're looking strong. There they go. Awesome. New mammal, Topi. Just see in this grass there's a flock of guinea fowl that are eating the tops of the seeds of the inflorescence. Every now and again you get this blue and red head flash up out of the grass. There we go, that one on the right you can see quite clearly. Pretty bird. Got those white dots all over the feathers if you can see clearly. And there's a youngster at the back with just that grey grizzly head. Yeah, that one on the top left has got something good. I like that section there. Okay. Suddenly someone maybe says a little alarm call, everyone sits up, has a look around, decides it's okay, and then they keep moving off into the longer grass. Pretty bird, it looks nice amongst the grass. Purple flowers in there as well. And then the grass moving with the wind that's blowing today. They should be well fed, there's plenty of grass around. Anyone can hear just over the wind that's probably blowing in the microphone, but there's lots of European bee-eaters flying overhead. Some cisticulars are calling out in these grasslands. It's a magic spot to be and spend some time. I'll leave these guinea fowl on their way and let's carry on exploring. Earlier we found some of those tuppy, those three males running through the long grass, and here's a male out in the open. Quite a good view of him. Have a look carefully at that tail that looks feathered like. Change in colour from the back to the front, goes through this chocolate brown into a black on his face, and then his top of his legs like a gunmetal blue. His horns that sweep back, a bit of white in the inside of his ear. We've seen that in the giraffe as well. Most likely helps with visual communication. And then watch him chewing, he's ruminating. Chewing cud, and then you might see that jaw stop when he swallows, and then he'll regurgitate another ball to chew finer. He's alert, it's windy, so it's harder to see things in the grass, to smell, to hear properly. So he's very vigilant. And they don't normally get too bothered by the heat. They'll stand out in the blazing heat, no problem. Jaw stopped, and it starts again. So there we go, swallowed and regurgitated. Showing some interest in us now. Watching carefully. See his ears are towards us, which shows that he's concentrating on us. See a bit of like orangey, greyish, whitish hair below the jaw there. He's regurgitating and chewing. Awesome, good opportunity to see Topi out in the open. Because this one is territorial and you'll hang around this area and protect it from other males. If we came through here at a later stage, we'd probably see him again. We'll keep a look. as well. And 4 ostriches out in the open area. 2 darker ones on the outside are males, and that's 2 females here, that lighter ashy grey brown. Watch their necks bending and going up and down from grass level right up high, eh? Sometimes the feathers are getting blown in the wind, a little bit ruffled. How impressive is that view behind them? Through the plains to the woodlands and a bit of a riverine area, and then across the green and up into the mountains. Serengeti is truly a very beautiful place to explore. Pretty chuffed I'm out here to do it on your behalf. Just the one ostrich head in the air. And there's that male too having a look around. There's always at least one of them with the head up in the air having a quick check around. It's tough to sneak up on these birds. There they go, to the left again. Much of their day will be spent feeding, preening, surveying, and then maybe in the weeks to come there might be a nest. Eventually, anything up to 20 chicks might be in the area with them. Awesome, we'll leave them to be.